I normally hate this sort of stuff, right? I hate little cute characters.
She's scared. She's scared of.
Come on, run!
You deliver the franchise most adorable dinosaur and probably the most terrifying one.
I'm gonna guess which ones you mean.
Do you have a guess when I talk about the cute one?
Sure, yeah, Dolores, the Aqualops.
What was the inspiration for going with a cute dinosaur?
It was in the script. There was, and I normally hate this sort of stuff, right? I hate little cute characters. I don't have any time for them. And so when I saw this in the script, I was like, okay, we have to do this carefully. And Steven he was very specific about which species it was. It's called an Aqualops. And I look on the internet at other Aqualopses, and they don't look very good. And so it was quite a design challenge. And it took us a while, but eventually we found a way of doing it that was kind of like you would really like it and love it. And so yeah, it was, and then we basically, I think the key was we told the animators, do not do anything. The Aqualops can't do anything that isn't based on real animal behavior. So like, don't make it like a character, you know, but make it an animal. And so for every time we reviewed the footage, there was always a piece of footage of like a meerkat or one of they'd do home videos. They'd use their iPhone and film their own dogs or pets, trying to get it to do the thing that an animal would do. And then the idea was, and then don't edit it, don't change it. Like, it's best if it's a little bit out of control. Like, I can't really direct it because otherwise it won't feel real like a real animal would. And I think that was the key.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park.
Could we talk about the terrifying one as well, the mutated dinosaur?
So the D-Rex is basically, was quite quick to figure out. It's a T-Rex that's just gone very wrong. And so, I don't know, in my mind, you think you don't have a specific idea, but then as you start playing, you go, well, I kind of imagine it like this. And the more I kind of thought about it, I was like, I think I'm picturing like a Rancor monster from Star Wars a little bit, but I'm also like wanted it to be a bit like H.R. Geiger's Alien and obviously a T-Rex. And then what happens is the animators at some point, they'll ask you a question that's super useful to them where they'll say, if this was a real person, who would it be? Like, so we know how to make it perform, like what is the character? And they asked for a famous person. And I was like, so I said, okay, this weekend, if you haven't watched it recently, go and watch again The Elephant Man, David Lynch's Elephant Man, because I felt like that was the vibe of our D-Rex. And I wanted the audience, even if they were scared of it, I wanted them to have a slight bit of empathy where you kind of, this thing never asked to look this way, you know, and so it's kind of on us that we like get nervous around it.
What kind of advice did Steven Spielberg give you before you started shooting?
Before we started shooting, I think one of the things I felt he said was essentially, it was this feeling of like, go make your film, you know? And because to start with, there's this feeling of like, I guess I've got to try and make a Spielberg film, right? And he'd say, no, go make your film, like your way, you know, with your style. And it's very intimidating as a filmmaker because he's watching all the dailies and he's seeing everything you're shooting, and I would get very paranoid about that. And then suddenly a text would come through that would be like saying something very nice about what he saw yesterday, and it would just make you feel like $1 million, you know? And I'm gonna frame those texts and put them in my house. Yeah. they're gonna be carved into stone, maybe even brass, or gold, possibly.
It must be gold or diamonds.
Yeah. Diamond-studded map out of that text is gonna be forever in my wall.
We put ourselves in a place where we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
That's kind of our specialty.